Sir Marshall, can you tell us a couple of things? How do you feel about our mandatory household insurance pool, as far as you heard until now?
Well, thank you, Vlad. It's a very interesting program, first of all, and I'm very glad to be here in Romania. I think it's always difficult to start something new and something that's mandatory that perhaps I'm hearing not everyone quite understands yet. I think that's a real challenge. So I think that if I had one piece of advice for my hosts here, and of course they're doing a great job, and I know some of the people in the PIDE program, and they're very good people, I think I would want to find out from the people who are going to be the customers of this product, what do they want? What do they need? How do they see their lives and their state of preparation for an earthquake or a landslide or a flood? Because until you know what they want, you probably can't give them a product that they really are willing to buy. So.
What's the situation right now with the pool you have in California? Is it similar to the one we have in Romania, or completely different, let's say?
Well, actually, it's completely different. It's based on a voluntary purchase of a full value insurance product. So we're here under the PIDE program. Maybe you're buying a 20,000 euro cover for 20 euros. In California, if you live in, let's say, San Francisco, you might buy a $500,000 cover, and you're going to pay $3,000 or $4,000 for that. So obviously, in our system, first of all, it's voluntary. Nobody has to buy the cover. And secondly, a lot of the economic issues that some of the participants are talking about today, are the brokers willing to sell? Are the insurers happy to participate? When you're talking about a commission structure based on a $3,000 or $4,000 premium rather than a 20 euro premium, some of those issues are not present. But having said all that, California only has about a 12% penetration rate. That means of all the households that have fire insurance, 8 or 9 million, only 12% have earthquake. It's voluntary, nobody has to buy it, and my board sees that as a real problem that we are working very hard to try to address right now.
And this program exists for how long time?
This program was set in motion by the California legislature since 1996, responding really to the 1994 Northridge earthquake in LA, Los Angeles. So that was a huge insurance event. In other words, insurance companies, private companies, had the earthquake insurance market at that time. They paid out a lot of money, and that was something that really made them sit up and pay attention to that risk that they were taking on that perhaps they didn't quite understand. So the Earthquake Authority came along in '96, and we have really advanced the state of the art in earthquake science, earthquake engineering, and earthquake insuring. So now at this point, we feel pretty comfortable that we know what we're doing.
But for example, what do you think to do in the future? What are your measures going to be to increase this percentage of only 12%?
That's a great question. Thank you. Well, first of all, we're looking at issues of price. What shall we do? What could we do to make our price more affordable? So we're working on legislation in Washington, federal legislation, to try to accomplish that. At the same time, we want to make sure that our look at the science and engineering is appropriate, so that our modeling is correct. And it looks like with the new science working its way into the modeling now, and we supported the research on that science, we'll be able to do something with our rates, make them lower. And we also want to improve what we call the value proposition. In other words, if a consumer wants to buy something, it has to have value. If he sees value in it, then maybe he'll pay for it. We want to make the product more valuable.
As a finishing question, let's say, we've presented in the first part of the conference a movie. I don't know if you've seen it, about what's the public opinion upon the mandatory household insurance. And basically the public says that it's more of a tax, let's say, than an insurance. What do you think about this?
Well, I would say I did see the video. And I think, as I understand it, this program was rolled out more or less during a holiday season, and I'm not sure everybody had a total exposure to the true facts. Now, we, of course, know it's not a tax. They get something, and they get something for their 20 euros, and it's actually very valuable. And but they will learn about it. I do think it's important to inform them, to spend money on marketing and advertising, and to ask them what they want.